is SeaLG.
SeaLG, yep.
SeaLG.
I like that play on words. It's a good play on words.
Technically, it's a play on letters, but we're going to go with it.
All right, summoner blockers are up. Bam!
Amazing.
So, we're getting into this game, and see a Lee Sin ban. I'm not sure if it's a targeted ban or not, and I'm not... Because he's kind of strong. He's always been strong since his release, but he's not as prominent lately. It's probably more of a targeted ban just to get away of some comfort picks of someone on CLG.
It's definitely been shifting a little bit away from Lee Sin. Honestly, I'm kind of okay with that. I really like Lee Sin, but he did see outrageous amounts of playtime. So, maybe letting him have a little spot on the bench.
Jax is the next ban, so that's actually, again, probably more of a targeted ban, because probably someone on new meta plays Jax, and they just don't want him to have his comfort champions.
What I want to know is who was going to play Shyvana up until the patch nerfed her a little bit. She was quite scary to go against.
Actually, Rengar ban? That's very interesting since he just got completely slapped in this patch. You can no longer triple Q on him. You can no longer... Yeah, you can't triple Q anymore. You can't dual cast on him anymore. So it's really interesting that he got banned, in my opinion, because he's significantly weaker now that those bugs have been fixed.
To be fair, I would maintain that those triple Qs really were not meant to be able to happen.
Yeah, probably not, but I'm just saying that they fixed that, and it no longer works, supposedly.
Did they also fix that trouble he had with his stealth, walking through wards and the like?
I don't know. I didn't see any notice of that, so probably not. I'm not sure. And we see Teemo and Thresh as the last bans. Teemo, I don't know about that ban. Again, it could just be that their top or mid laner does not like playing against Teemo, which is perfectly acceptable, because Teemo's a dick.
Let's face it, Altharian. Who really wants to see Teemo out on the field besides me? Besides the casters, what player actually wants to see Teemo out on the field?
Probably no one.
Oh, probably no one. So, to actually clarify this, I am sitting outside, peering in through my little window, and I realize that Twitch being Twitch, I'm actually about 30 seconds behind.
Yeah, he is.
Oh, yeah, he is. So I'm only just seeing the alleged Kha'Zix pick right now.
Yeah, Kha'Zix just got locked in, and a first insta-lock of any support. Honestly, I think that's the better pick than the Kha'Zix. I don't know. We'll probably be seeing Kha'Zix go jungle, is my guess. He's really popular in the jungle right now.
So tell me, as far as I know, Annie's cooldown for her ultimate does not actually start until the bear is dead, correct?
I don't actually know. I want to say it's when she casts it.
Okay, because if it is when she casts it, they've shortened the cooldown timer. They've taken 20 seconds off per level, which means that at level 16, it's an 80-second cooldown, which, some of us being, some level of math proficient, that means it's a 48-second cooldown on a 45-second bear. Yep. I want to see Tibbers on that field all night long, ladies and gentlemen.
Tibbers' cooldown does start when he is summoned.
I want to see that bear on the field for 5 minutes.
It'll be so much fun. And we see Nasus as the second pick for purple team. Looks like he's going to top lane. He's taking teleport and flash. I'm not sure I agree with the flash pick, but we'll see how it goes. And
I'm interested as to why we're talking about summoners. I thought we agreed we weren't going to do that for a little bit.
I'm so bad. Let's put it that way.
You are a big old silly, Billy.
Clearly, I'm just trolling, and you have no idea what his summoner spells he's picking. I could just be saying that, and he's picking Revive right now.
Teleport Revive, new meta.
The best. So we see the Olaf and Leona pick on blue team right now. Leona's a great support. Really it's considered as a counter to Annie because Annie really does not do well with people getting on top of her and then CCing her down. And that's exactly what Leona does. No
real surprise there. Small girls generally do not like to be held down.
Oh, man. And we see the Olaf pick. I'll be interested to see where Olaf goes. He will probably be toppling with the Kha'Zix pick, just because Kha'Zix is generally a jungler right now.
How do you feel about Olaf after he got changed around a little bit?
I think he's less frustrating to play against, and he's actually kind of strong right now.
Yeah, I think he's definitely not a bad champion by any stretch.
I think he's in a good place right now. And we're seeing maybe Tristana and Gragas for the last picks on blue team. We'll see if they end up locking those in.
That would make a pretty good composition, in my opinion, especially considering that Tristana has a huge amount of range, and Nasus no longer gets that bonus on Wither Spiritfire anymore, so she can kind of dance around him while he's in his ultimate.
Right. And I have to say, with these locked in, I'm not impressed with new meta right now. They are not playing something off meta. Just saying.
New meta's old meta. Who knew?
I'm disappointed. They should be playing things like Poppy and Heimer.
Again, I really disagree with what people call the new meta. If you're playing Heimer and you're playing him top, that's still a single top meta. You're not actually deviating the meta. You're just playing Heimer up there. Like, if you're playing Poppy in the jungle, you're not actually deviating from the meta. You're just playing Poppy in jungle. Still the jungle meta. You being a silly.
Fair enough. And
for the record, I love Poppy. I would love to see her in the jungle.
They considered Poppy for a little bit. They're just flipping through. MLG Brohams is just flipping through champions. I think.
Do it. Be Poppy.
He's just flipping through champions right now, trying to decide what he wants to pick. He's not quite sure yet. He's looking.
I hope what he wants to pick is Poppy.
Oh man, he's thinking about that Poppy.
Yeah,
he might lock it in.
You know, if they really wanted to shake things up and play with a strange support, Annie is actually an excellent counter to Gragas.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And it looks like we're going to see a LeBlanc locked in.
I see. A LeBlanc? I haven't actually seen one of those in like 6 months. Do people still play LeBlanc?
She's incredibly strong right now. She's a lot of fun. I play her a lot too.
It's like saying that he picked Urgot. I'm sure he still exists somewhere, but people play.
People play LeBlanc. She's very popular right now. And so we see Don't Chase Me switch with Trust Me Engineer and a whole bunch of flip-flop-a-doodles going on.
Flip-flop, zoobity-zop. Bill Cosby is entering the field.
So, man, they're just flip-flopping all over the place on that team.
So tell me, Otherian, why is LeBlanc so popular right now?
She has great burst damage and escapes. She counters a lot of the standard meta and mid right now is really like burst casters that have low CC and have decent range. But so you see a lot of Syndra, you see sometimes Morgana, but mainly you see a bunch of Syndra. You see just characters that LeBlanc preys on and loves to lane against, and just rips them to pieces. Wow. So that's why LeBlanc has gotten a lot popular right now.
Yeah, sounds like a pretty big field day for her. What I really want to know, though, and what I'm sure everybody else cares about, is how is Cho'Gath doing?
I would imagine pretty good. He's still just Cho'Gath. He still has burst damage, and he's tanky because he's Cho'Gath, which in the tanky meta right now, I imagine he would be just fine.
That is what I like to hear, my friend. What I like to hear.
I'm going to go ahead.
And now we're finally out. We can remove those summoner blockers, and now we can start discussing those like we agreed to. And there we go. He did end up keeping that teleport flash. Whoops-a-doodles.
Interesting choice in the Nasus. I don't particularly agree with flash on a lane Nasus.
Yeah.
Or usually in Nasus in general. I guess in the jungle, I guess it's more up to personal preference, because flash weather ganks can be really effective. But as a top laner, I really think that Ghost is more effective because you can chase down your target better.
If Jarvan had been the enemy, I could kind of understand the flash because, if Jarvan's going to jump down on you with his little cataclysm, you want to be out of there.
Right.
But, in this situation, especially against, like Olaf, very mobile kind of champion. Though, again, I do like that they have picked Jarvan against Olaf. I do like that. But against, Tristana, able to get away, Gragas able to dash away, Kha'Zix able to jump away, he's really going to have a lot of trouble actually getting onto his targets if he flashes onto them and they jump out. Yeah. He's really going to have a lot of trouble sticking to somebody.
Which is why you usually take the Ghost on Nasus. So it'll be interesting how to see he works it, but
yeah,
I'm sure he picked it for a reason. So we'll have to just wait and see.
Sounds like you're maybe having a little trouble there, trying to maybe getting a little bit of water in between.
Air. I have hiccups for some reason.
Oh, hold your breath.
The best thing for casting.
Hold your breath. So, in these team comps, it looks like, honestly, I would say relatively standard in this new sort of meta. I really like the amount of initiation and engage on blue team. I'm not really seeing as much of that on purple team. They've got Jarvan and they've got Annie. Both of them are relatively strong engages, but I still really like Leona and Gragas over that on blue team, as well as the disengage. Purple team has a lot of engage, not a whole lot of disengage. They have trouble, Jarvan isn't really meant for a disengage. He's kind of got to put himself in there. He's really got to commit to something. Whereas Gragas can be used for disengage or re-engage. Leona does kind of get stuck on there. That is definitely a threat. But overall, I think a little bit more stability there with blue team.
Right. I definitely like that blue team has more just engage abilities. They don't have to rely on flash tibbers, for example, or flash wither in order to engage. They can just, with Leona especially, just Zenith Blade to someone and then just bop them in the face with a shield. And that's your initiation.
Yeah.
Whereas on purple team, you have flash tibbers or flash Jarvan, and that's really all you have to do. You get to burn a summoner spell to initiate it effectively.
Yeah. On the other hand, they do have both LeBlanc and Annie, who are really excellent kind of early mid-game champions. So I think it's pretty safe to say that if it gets to late game between Tristana, Kha'Zix, Olaf, blue team will probably start pulling away. But if purple team can really come out with kind of a commanding opening and a commanding mid game, then they should probably be able to hold off.
Yeah, it'll really just depend on how both teams play. It's really going to be up to just if purple team can push an early game advantage, because LeBlanc and Annie will have massive power spikes in the mid game.
Yeah, and we are to my favorite part of the game, Eltherian. What part is that?
That would be skin intimidation, folks.
Absolutely it is. So looking at this, I'm seeing Frostfire, Annie, Pharaoh, Nasus, and Warren Kingdom Jarvans for purple team. And up on blue team, we've got Riot Girl, Tristana, Mecha Kha'Zix, and Iron Solari Leona.
Honestly, I'll have to give it to purple team, because Riot Girl Tristana is a free skin as long as you like Riot Games on YouTube, so...
Everyone knows that Riot Girl Tristana is worth -2 points when you are playing Skin Intimidation.
Tune in the next week, folks.
I do kind of like the color palettes. We've got Riot Girl Tristana with her pink hair and her blue skin, and we've got Frostfire Annie with her pink hair and her blue parka, kind of got the same thing there.
So, have you been able to hop into the game yet? Or?
I am actually spectating off of you as we speak.
Awesome.
Yeah, very cool going on right there.
So.
I do really like that Mecha Kha'Zix skin. I really like the Iron Solari. They actually kind of remind me a lot of each other. They're both very kind of...
Yeah, they're similar colors and just look in general. So.
Yeah. On the other side, Pharaoh, Nasus, Warren Kingdom's Jarvan, both very excellent skins. Jarvan kind of doing that sort of Oriental thing, and Pharaoh Nasus is Egypt. Big surprise there.
I'd say he pretty Egypt.
He pretty Egypt indeed.
All
right.
Much Egypt, so Doge. Wow.
All right, so we're going to have to give Skin Intimidation to purple team, so let's see if they can lock down that early game and prove that it's not about the gameplay, it's about the skins.
I would have to agree with that statement. Skins are always the most important thing you could ever have in this game.
Absolutely. So tell me, how did people get that really spiffy Vagar Gingerbread Man pick right there?
I believe you had to win, like, 3 pre-made matches on Howling Abyss or something like that? Showdown.
Really should have done that. And what about this little sword with a ribbon around it? Oh,
that
too
looked
late.
like something to do with Katarina, but we are in game now.
All right, so we are going to readjust our little champion... Champion a-doodles, so you say.
And a pause.
Already got a pause going off.
I will appropriately move things and block out the stream, and I will let you guys know what's going on.
Yeah. Got a hashtag swag going down on the field. Very aggressive opening from Annie. Oh, okay. Looks like one of the blues didn't connect. I would assume either Gragas or Leona, so we'll figure that out. And it looks like they've definitely connected now, so we're going to go ahead and get right on into it. So how do you think this top lane is going to go? Nasus versus Olaf, it's kind of a classic sort of a matchup that you've seen time and time again.
I think Olaf will trash Nasus.
All right.
Nasus will be able, if Nasus can farm, he'll be able to scale really hard, just because that's what Nasus does. But Olaf has excellent harass just through his axes and through his reckless swing. And if Nasus does not build health early, reckless swing, I assume, will be maxed first and will tear him to pieces.
Okay. I actually missed some of that. I'm not certain. For whatever reason, it seemed like you cut out for a second there, so hopefully that won't happen again. And remember, if you have not jumped up to live, to make sure you do so, because there was that very mild pause.
We are, in fact, in live.
All right.
So, we actually see lines of scrimmage being set up between the two teams. We got just pretty much basic jungle defense, making sure either team isn't going to invade each other. So it looks like we got Kha'Zix starting red and Jarvan starting blue.
Yeah, and I don't think either team really would want to engage each other. Leona really doesn't become a huge powerhouse until up around level, I would say 3 probably is usually when you really start seeing a lot of really aggressive play from her. Yeah. Annie's usually kind of a level 2, but she does start out with her stun, so they could have a little bit going on there. Lucian is decent, but again, I wouldn't really call him a level 1 powerhouse in a team fight.
Right. So it looks like we're going to see LeBlanc also assisting in the leash for Jarvan, so he should get a really good leash level 1. Most of the time, you only see AD carry and support giving the leash, since the jungle goes down. The jungler smites the first buff now, usually. So, it usually works out pretty well.
They're back to doing that smiteful first buff, huh?
Yeah, because Smite's damage was decreased, but the cooldown was lowered in turn. So most of the time you'll see junglers smite the first buff, and by the time they get to the second buff, it's up again.
Which is kind of a welcome change. There was a while where that was not the case, and you would have to decide if you wanted to dance around, try for a gank, try for the golems on the other side, or just go ahead and start doing it. So kind of nice that they lowered that cooldown.
So, however, we did see that Gragas got the lane a little bit later, so he's 2 CS behind LeBlanc. So GG, no re.
Oh!
Gragas
is going to have kind of a difficult point here. He does have a lot of inherent regen, and that's really going to be useful for him. But LeBlanc is going to do such a good job at zoning him since she has that range, whereas Gragas is only a melee.
Top, we see Olaf has already gone in on Nasus, gotten a huge chunk of damage through his axe tosses and just autos. So he's already putting that pressure on the Nasus like we thought he would.
Yeah, Nasus does have a good amount of regen with his lifesteal, though, and he does have a pot and Dorn shield start, which is a very defensive opening. Oh, but here we go. He's up on him. And that is a good amount of damage. He does have the Ignite, though, so this could be a really good aggressive play. We saw a really nice going on LeBlanc, really great harassment when Gragas went to throw a barrel. If she can keep him zoned, she can really take a lot of his effectiveness out of the game.
What Gragas needs to do to beat LeBlanc is he needs to shove her into turret. LeBlanc has a really, really hard time. Down bottom lane, we see a fight happening. We see Leona going on to Lucian. Lucian flashes back barriers. Lucian gets the first blood on Leona. And now we have Andy going on Tristana, and they both back off. And it ends up a kill. First blood for Lucian. Meanwhile, Jarvan ganking Olaf top after Olaf ignites Nasus. Nasus falls down. Jarvan auto. He's trying to get that Olaf. He got that red buff slow. He's going for it, but Olaf might actually take him down.
Oh, minions! Minions! OP getting the kill down on Olaf. Great play. He knew exactly what those minions are going to do. He made sure to pull him down. There were 2 waves of minions there. Look at all those caster minions. Pulled him right into it, sat there, made him take a good amount of it, and then stepped away for the disengage.
And as I was saying before I had to be cut off, oh man, see a kill go down on Trist. She looks like she stayed way too long, but Kha'Zix's going in. Oh, he cancels the Q!
Yeah, she started to walk away, and he did flash for that kill. It was a great flash, just getting inside and walking right back out of tower range after. A lot of really great aggressive plays going on here so far.
And so far, again, as I was saying before, Gragas needs to make sure he shoves in that Leona, because LeBlanc, because LeBlanc has a very difficult time farming under tower, unless she maxes W. But looking at LeBlanc's skills, he's maxing Q. MLG Broham is maxing Q. He's looking to get those aggressive damage pokes onto Gragas. And so all Gragas needs to do is just spam barrels and shove her into the turret, because that denies LeBlanc her roam, and she loses a lot of farm in the process.
And we got a couple of pings going down from blue. Jarvan is, looks like maybe just walking through here. Just giving a kind of little high-five to LeBlanc as he strolls on through. Up at the top lane, still hugely aggressive damage. Olaf does have that double buff, which is almost the worst thing you would ever want to see on a top lane. It's already basically a duel where it could go either way regardless of how the matchups are, and giving blue buffs to your opponent can never really end well for you.
Yeah, especially in a matchup where Olaf already has the advantage.
Yeah, and it looks like every time he's getting near, Tazit is throwing out those reckless strings, some really great play, making sure that Nasus is always paying for getting those creeps.
Yeah, he's making him pay the price to try and get those Q stacks, and man, does it hurt right now, because it looks like Olaf is maxing that reckless swing. Yeah, 3 levels in it already, he's level 5, so I imagine we might, if he gets him low enough, we might just see him straight up dive him once he hits 6.
Oh, and there goes another one as well. His Ignite is not up, fortunately. A lot of damage going on down to Leona in the bottom lane. Nothing really huge to worry about, but that could become dangerous if she sticks around for too long. She does have a lot of health potions, so she'll be okay given enough time, but it doesn't look like Red Team really wants to give her that time.
See Nasus take a huge chunk up in top lane again. He's just forced to back up because he's half a level behind Olaf.
And he's got his teleport down too, so it's going to be a long walk back. And there we go. Leona taking a lot of damage, but she is going on to Lucian, who dashes back away, forces her to get stuck. She's trying to make it away, can she? There's the stun going down, and no, she is going to get caught. Very unfortunate there for that Leona. I think it was not a bad engage inherently, but Lucian dashing backwards really pulled her into a position that she wasn't supposed to be in at that time.
Oh, and LeBlanc burst down Kha'Zix in the mid lane, just solo kill. Good job by LeBlanc.
This is what we were talking about with that good early aggression on purple side. They're at least doing well in 2 of their lanes, but with Olaf getting how he is, there's really a danger that he could pull away enough to kind of swing things back into Gragas' favor, so they're going to have to watch for that.
Would you say that he would swing things back recklessly?
Oh! I hate what you did there and love it at the same time.
Jarvan looked like he was looking for a gank up top, but decided to just go in mid instead, probably farm his jungle at the Rays.
Yeah, what I really want to see is if LeBlanc can get an advantage on Gragas, or at least get the lane pushed, if she can go up there and start giving Nasus a hand. Jarvan's already kind of been up there, but it doesn't seem to be working out. Speaking of working out, Leona jumping onto Lucian. She does get him this time. They're doing outrageous amounts of damage to him. And is he? No, there's the barrier, just barely gonna...
Oh, nice flash.
Dirty flash indeed. Captain Banhammer gonna tell him to go back to spawn. Really great play. Nice flashes all around so far.
Oh, and Olaf looks like he went for a dive on Nasus up top, and Nasus didn't actually get any damage in response.
Now there's something you don't see every day.
So he ended up getting executed by the turret instead. Yeah, which actually ends up working out well for Nasus just in general, because it'll give him some nice breathing room to farm, because he's not actually behind in CS, he's just behind in the kills.
Yeah, and since it looked like maybe he was near enough to pick up some of the experience from that, that's kind of exactly what he needed there. Oh, Tazit doesn't want to talk about it.
So we see Kha'Zix is at level 6 now. Looks like he evolved his Q. So that means his ganks will come out. When he comes out in ganks, he'll have some big damage on isolated targets. Which is the main reason why you jungle Kha'Zix now, because you can usually isolate targets because the first instinct is to run away when you're being ganked. And if you run away and get isolated against a Kha'Zix who evolved his Q first, you're in for some nasty damage.
Oh, this is going to be bad. Yep, there's the finish off on Gragas. A nice QR auto attack finish off. Gragas looked like he was sticking around a little longer than he should have been, especially against a LeBlanc, who's kind of known for assassinating targets.
Yeah, especially a LeBlanc that rusts Sorcerer's Shoes. Yeah, he has double Dorans.
He's going to have to bulk up and play a little more defensively there. He's going to let LeBlanc start to walk away with that.
We see, great Tibbers down on bottom. Stuns both Tristana and Leona. Forces a flash from Leona and the rocket shot jump from Tristana. And he flashes, and the Lucian Singularity from Lucian picks up the Tristana.
Looks like everybody was slashing down there in that bottom lane. It was a really nice lockdown from Leona, trying to give time for her carry to get away, and then a flash out as well. Right. But it looked like red team, purple team, I guess, was just too aggressive to follow up on that. They couldn't get away.
Piercing Light, I apologize. That Lucian Singularity is a Lux spell.
I wasn't going to say anything if you weren't. And here we go, Wither being dropped on Olaf, but again, he really has a lot more skills than auto attacks when he's coming to poke, so it's not going to make a whole bunch of difference. Nasus going down to half. He does miss that Q, though.
Big damage on Gragas in mid. LeBlanc landed 3 of her 4 spells and just popped the first sigil, but not the second. Nearly killed Gragas in one rotation.
And it looks like somebody's hunting down here. They do have a ward, so they're well aware that he's in that location.
Meanwhile, in the top lane, Jarvan coming up to gank Olaf. Drops the flag and drag, goes up. Olaf just pops the ult and walks away.
Very unfortunate. And again, Kha'Zix is standing on that ward, so they couldn't get in and try a gank on red team. They're well aware that that's there. They're not going to stand out and get that unless it's what they want to have happen. And there we go. Groggy pushing into the tower exactly like it should be doing. Putting down a ward to make sure that Jarvan's not coming in to do anything nefarious in mid.
LeBlanc is a little bit low mana, but if she saves properly, she might be able to burst Gragas in one rotation. She does have her Ignite up, so if she could land both of her sigils and then the follow-up chain to burst the Mimic sigil, then that is quite a bit of burst going through and will probably kill Gragas.
Yeah, and here we go. Jarvan waiting around. Looks like he's trying to coax Olaf into fighting against Nasus so that he can come in afterwards. He does have that Cataclysm up. That is a complete option. There we go, moving into the bush. And it looks like... Oh, he's doing a little bit of following around. Looks like he doesn't want to follow it up too much. They're kind of mostly just ignoring each other, but there we go. NASA's really kind of hard committing to this. Doing a large amount of damage, walking away. He
was really trying to goad Olaf into that by being so aggressive.
Yeah, and Leona looking for Tibbers, finds him, isn't sure she liked it, going down in the bot lane again.
Top lane, Jarvan just flag and dragged in, ulted, Nasus ulted. That's a dead Olaf.
And that's an 0-2 exchange on terms of red team. They're going to have control on both sides of the field. Kha'Zix down in that bottom, but it doesn't look like he has a whole lot of tankiness. He's actually forced to walk away from Tibbers. And up in the top, it looks like they are in pretty good danger of losing the tower. So there is that aggressive opening that we thought we might be seeing from red team. They're really playing their hand very well right now. Yeah. And as long as they can kind of stay ahead of the curve, make sure that,
if LeBlanc had landed that chain, she would have gotten Gragas very, very close to death. It doesn't look like she popped the Ignite, so he would have lived, but she might have ignited him had she landed the
very
chain.
Close escape, very close escape. He is down 40 CS and a couple of kills on her, however. How do you feel about this null magic battle? Do you think
Leona going on a Lucian bottom. Xanath Blade in, stuns. Tristana jumps in. Ignite has been dropped. Tristana does pick up the kill on Lucian.
And that is going to get him. Way to catch that. That is kind of what Blue Team needs to make sure that they don't fall too far behind. So far, about 4,000 gold. So anytime they can catch a kill like that, they're going to have to take it, and they're doing a good job of looking for those opportunities.
Right. So what were you about to say before I caught that action?
How do you feel about this Null Magic Mantle on Gragas? Do you think we'll be seeing some kind of Chalice, or do you think he'll be going for a Twin Shadows? I'm not really sure what to make of that.
I don't know. A lot of the times you can get away with a Twin Shadows because it does have that magic resist, but my first guess is Chalice of Harmony.
I think Chalice of Harmony is not a bad bet. I would be really surprised if we saw something like Mercury Treads. I would absolutely question everything I knew about Olaf if I saw a Hex Drinker. I could probably see a Chalice.
Yeah.
Probably see it. I could even see a Twin Shadows, though I'm not certain that plays as much application in the early to mid game.
Right. Chalice is just a great item to have, especially if you're against a burster. It gives you the mana regen you need, which is nice on Gragas, because mana regen equals more health regen on Gragas because of his passive.
Yeah, and there we go. Are we seeing a dragon here? It looks like they're starting it at the very least, and yeah, they are doing some damage. There is a lot of damage going down from that martial cadence.
Yeah,
and here we go.
And he has quite a bit of AP and Magic Pen right now. So
and we're seeing some response. They are aware it's happening. Is he going to be able to get in to do anything about it? Or is he even going to want to? And there we go. He's going in, but no, he does not manage to smite the dragon. And there is Tibbers going down for his trouble. He is going to go down. And Blue Team is going to have to retreat away from this. Very unfortunate. Kha'Zix went in there. He tried to get the dragon, but it looked like it was a little too far out for him to actually get down there and try and catch it. They took the smite away from him, and then he was stuck inside.
And now Red Team is looking to 4v1 push or 4v2 push this bot lane. That turret's really low, so Blue Team new meta needs to be really careful down here, or they're going to find themselves being dove.
Up in the top lane, Olaf is shoving Nasus a little bit, and that's good for Blue Team because they're having trouble in some of the other lanes. And here we go, coming down. There's the flag going out. She's trying to jump onto Annie, but the turret just went down. She needs to get out of there. There's a great ultimate shoving Jarvan away for her teammate. They are going to be able to walk out.
That was a brilliant ult by Solar Flare by Leona. She dropped it on two people, stunned Jarvan and Lucian, and just completely denied the initiation, or the rest of the follow-up on.
Really great play. It seemed a little aggressive. And there we go, great follow-up. LeBlanc, trying to flash forward. There's the Ignite, and there's the barrier on Gragas, just barely going to keep him alive there.
He ended up blowing his flash too, which was unnecessary at that point. But if LeBlanc had landed her Ethereal Chain follow-up on the Mimic's Sigil of Silence, that would have been a dead Gragas. Because the bursting Sigil...
Oh! Unfortunate, he backed a little close to that tower, and Jarvan made him pay for it. But Kha'Zix might be trying to return the favor. Tristan is coming, but I don't think she's going to make it in time. Is he going down? Yes, he is. Tristana is not able to get the assist on that. Kha'Zix just wanted to get the kill and walk away with it.
Unfortunately for Jarvan, Taste Their Fear has very, very low cooldown when maxed. So he was able to get 2 or 3 isolated Taste Their Fears on Jarvan, and that just shreds people when you evolve it.
Yeah, really dirty play, and it just goes to show if you're not sure where the enemy jungler is, sometimes it's better to take a couple more seconds and make sure you make it into your base before you go back.
Yeah, that just cost Gragas his life. He thought he had gotten out, he popped the flash in the barrier, and he was like, yes, I survived LeBlanc's burst. And then he just takes Jarvan to the back. Very
unfortunate, and it especially leaves a bad taste in your mouth if you do it right after escaping from a near death.
Right. Yeah. So it's just an unfortunate situation for Gragas, and now I think with the culmination of that kill on the Dragon and also the turret down bottom, we've seen SeaLG just pull ahead on a great advantage. And we see Annie actually pop Tenebers down on Tristana down bottom, stuns her. Tristana also... Anyway, and we see Lucian coming in. Annie flashes looking for a stun, and it looks like that's a dead Tristana.
Ooh, executed. Lucian picking up another kill. Very unfortunate. Looked like she was up just a little bit too far. I'm really kind of surprised. Since we've seen sort of the new season, I haven't seen as much ward coverage, but it looks like even in the Tribush and down on the Dragon, there is that pink to thank for making sure that Dragon stays clear. Really great amount of coverage there, making sure that Lucian can come walking down. I am, however, surprised to not see a ward in the Tribush.
Yeah, not sure. I guess it's because they think the laning phase is over at this point. They don't really need one there. That's more common during the laning phase. And we see Red Team going for a 4v2 push in the mid. They really want that mid turret.
Yeah, and there is a Call of the Week not really getting a whole lot done. It does kind of force them out to the side, but all in all, could have been a better used ult, I think.
And SeaLG sees Leona trying to clear that pink ward, but she backs away once she realizes that she had 3 people looking for her.
And that's good awareness that that she knows that she can see that they walk through that ward down there towards the middle and make sure that she doesn't get caught out again. And there they go. They are going to sweep for that. They are going to find it and take it out.
Lucian getting some good auto attack damage on Tristana. He's got a Bloodthirster over her not finished Ruined King yet, so Tristana really isn't doing much damage. She has lifesteal and attack speed, but that really doesn't help especially when the Lucian has 5 kills and a Bloodthirster on him.
Yeah, it seems like Olaf really has been the one to shine in Blue Team's laning phase, and I'm really kind of surprised, I guess, because you can't really leave Nasus alone too long. He wasn't really able to lever that advantage anywhere else.
Yeah, and Nasus only has 183 bonus damage on his Q, so he's doing a good job shutting down Nasus, but it's really just a ticking time bomb.
Ooh, speaking of ticking time bombs, how long until we see that dive? He's got Ghost and he's got Ignite. Is he going to go for it? Oh, I wish he had. I love seeing some good aggressive plays, but it looks like he's going to take a little more conservative route.
And
just
actually,
take that tower down.
LeBlanc is coming up. She's looking for the response kill because Nasus is sticking around waiting to see if this is going to happen.
Oh, and this is a bait and a half if I've ever seen one. And here he goes. He's going for it. Is he going to be able to get it off? He's trying to ult. And here we go. There's a Q being thrown through. He's trying to go away with a flash. And here is LeBlanc and Jarvan coming in as well. He's got to run for it, but no! A really kind of a textbook bait there from Poseidon.
Very good job. He ended up having to blow the flash and the Nasus ulti, but, you know, for killing that Olaf, it was giving him so much trouble. It was completely worth it.
Oh, yeah. You know, that's what the summoner spells are there for. A lot of people think, you know, worth it because I got the flash, worth it because I got the ignite. That is what they're there for, to get kills or stay alive.
Get caught by Leona and Kha'Zix, force the flash, exhausted, executed by the Taste of Fear from Kha'Zix. Great initiation by Leona. Yeah,
really great awareness. It seems like both of these teams are really playing a very aggressive game at the moment.
Yeah, they're doing a great job putting on just full-on aggression. Just seeing so much action happening in this game right now. But LeBlanc goes in on Leona, does a huge amount of burst. And the follow-up kill from Jarvan, but it actually goes to LeBlanc.
There is that bear going to go down. Otherian, have you seen her bear Tibbers?
I have seen her bear Tibbers, and is that cold fire? Because, man, that looks very frigid.
It is cold indeed. I think there's a bit of frostbite going down on Blue Team. A couple of them are going to have to back. Great stuns dropping down. She stunned all 3 of them. Really, absolutely great.
Very good job picking up the Leona kill and then trying to pressure for more advantage to try and get that mid turret.
Yeah, and here we have Olaf going in. Looked like he just threw an axe and walked away. We have Nasus up in the top. He's kind of just taking a moment to free farm since he knows that Olaf is down in that mid lane, which I really like.
Oh, good kill by LeBlanc. She's starting to hit that point where she can burst almost anyone as long as they don't have magic resist. She's almost got that DFG finished. And that's kind of the butter zone for LeBlanc. That's when she gets really scary. And starts taking control on the map.
And I'm really liking these scans going off. It seems like the last 3 or 4 scans in a row from Red Team have been able to catch a ward on it.
Yeah, they know the most common warding locations, and they were just trying to sweep them from there, so they deny vision from the enemy team.
And, you know, sometimes playing by the numbers gets you what you want, like in this situation.
We actually see Leona going down bottom. Maybe he's just looking to ward, or maybe looking to go on Lucian.
Oh, she could go on Lucian, but I don't know what she'd do if she caught him at the moment. I don't think she'd really enjoy having him under her thumb right there.
Leona sees that the Dragon's there. The Blue Team might be looking to start something, but Lucian suspects.
Oh, dear. This is not good for Leona. She doesn't have the flash up. She's trapped in the arena. And here is the entirety of Red Team. Oh, goodness. Portes is going to go down. Yep. Very unfortunate to have been caught in that arena. I guess she kind of knew she couldn't really walk past Lucian. She couldn't walk into the 3 other opponents. There wasn't a whole lot to be able to do. And a great dragon steal from Blue Team. Kha'Zix does go down, but they did get the dragon for it. Really nice play there.
Yeah, he jumped in thinking and made Jarvan think that he was going to be able to steal it. Oh, good flash by Annie. Good Tibbers stun. And that is a dead Tristana.
Yeah, really great play there. We see Olaf still up in the top. He's trying to push that second turret. But we see Red Team putting 4 in the middle against just Gragas. And since he took the Chalice route, he doesn't have enough AP to really force things, to really force minions off of that turret to really take him down quick enough, so that turret is going to go down.
And we did see that Jarvan uses Cataclysm on Gragas, but Gragas simply just flashed out. Or body slammed out, sorry.
Yeah. There are a lot of things that Cataclysm should block. It does not.
It does not block a fat man.
It just doesn't block anything as far as I can tell.
Cataclysm Coda's minions, GG, right?
And here we go. Got kind of a 3-pronged attack going on Olaf. He's starting to back, so I don't think they're going to get anything out of that, though.
Yeah, and he'll get out just fine.
He does disappear. So far, looking at it, we've got about an 8,000 gold advantage for Red Team. They're up a few objectives. They're up a good amount of kills. They're doing really everything we thought that they should to be able to hold on to this. If it gets too late, if it goes into a late game and Tristana can pull back, they might start having some trouble. But if it gets into the ultra late game, then we'll start seeing Nasus too. So I think they've got a really long window that they have control here for.
Especially since the majority of red team is ahead, and Nasus was really the only one who's having trouble. And he's actually ahead of CS on Olaf now. He's still down a kill, but Nasus with farm and any amount of items is scary.
He absolutely is. And not only is he actually up in CS, he has a lot more global gold as well. So both things to consider for Nasus.
And he just hit the 300 mark on his siphoning strike, so that's kind of where you want to be on Nasus, is once you start hitting that 300 mark on your siphoning strike, you start doing quite a bit of damage with those Qs.
Yep, they've pinged Olaf, let him know that he needs to back up. Annie is coming. Looking at Annie's build, she's building straight AP, which is a pretty standard thing for support Annie to do, even though she's, theoretically not getting a whole lot of gold, right, Altherian?
Right, because support Annie, her pressure exists solely from the amount of damage and her stun that she has in the early game, and usually she builds into a second burst caster role, where if you have two burst casters, you can kill both of their carries, as opposed to if you just had a standard support, you could only burst one carry.
Yeah, so here we go. We have blue team walking into the middle. They're walking up towards that Annie. She does have that stun. She also has the bear, and are we going to see it? No, we're not. LeBlanc also barely making it away. And Olaf is coming down as well, maybe?
Kha'Zix really wants it. He popped the ult for it, but he just walks away.
Unfortunate. I really, I like seeing some aggressive action, but I think prudence was the good play here, considering if he jumps in and takes a Tibbers for this trouble, he isn't really helping the team out very much.
So far we're just seeing teams kind of reorganize, re-strategize. We see blue team still looking for that mid turret, and we just see the Rockets slightly miss Lucian and Annie. Good dodge from them. Blanc went back just now, and she got the home guards and another needlessly large rod. So her damage is going to be pretty high.
Yeah, absolutely. We're seeing a lot of damage from red team. So far we've been talking about the lead red team has, but why don't we talk about what blue team can do to start coming back from this? Where could we maybe see them exposing some weaknesses in red team?
They need to try and force split pushing onto red team if at all possible. Nasus does have the teleport, so they don't have as much in that regard, but Olaf looks like he's doing quite well against Nasus in lane, although he's about to get 3-man ganked.
Yeah, here comes some plays, and right here we've got 4 blues versus 2 reds in the middle. When they see this happening, this is when blue team needs to make their move in the middle. Use Olaf to force more than one person up into that lane, and then hit them where they are weakest. It looks like, unfortunately, Olaf is going to go down. They did have to use a lot of resources to do it, but they did get him, so that is going to be a kill. I'm kind of disappointed that we didn't see blue team making more aggressive action, but here we go! Lucian face-checking Kha'Zix and Gragas. They're not going to be able to follow. Leona is going to have him stunned, but it's not enough. She's only able to jump onto Annie, and she's stuck there taking outrageous amounts of damage. And Kha'Zix jumping back in, looks like he was maybe trying to finish off LeBlanc, not able to get her. So that's going to be really kind of a 4-for-0 trade. I did like the aggression. I think it happened about 15 seconds later than it should have.
I agree. Blue team just wasn't in a position to capitalize on the Olaf being caught. So it was just a little bit unfortunate on the positioning part, but they really need to use that Olaf to force red team to deal with him so they can take advantages such as Dragon, because Dragon is going to start scaling up as champions level in this game, and it's become a very valuable resource for gold and experience.
Yeah, and Trust Me Engineer was saying in chat earlier something about practicing, so it could just be that that maybe they're trying out sort of a strategy. I think he said we're practicing something for next week, so maybe they're just trying something new, or maybe they're kind of starting to mesh in with that teamwork, get that communication down. So, you know, at the moment they've got some good core strategies down, and as they tighten and refine it up, they could really very well be a strong contender in this team.
No, blue team is playing very well. They've got some solid players. They're just they're playing as a good team, but they just let their lanes get too far behind, and red team just took large amounts of advantage.
And that's what I like to see. I'll take good teamwork resulting in a loss any day, but it is absolutely not over yet. We have seen Purple did take that commanding lead. There wasn't really a huge amount that could have been done in these lanes. Purple did just have a very overwhelming early game. So hopefully we'll see blue team start to maybe climb back out of this kind of deficit they've got, because it only takes one fight to start a comeback.
Especially in the late game. A single fight can mean everything.
Absolutely, and if all you have is straight damage, it's a lot harder to come back. But blue team has a lot of utility, a lot of repositioning. If they can catch, LeBlanc out, if they can catch Annie out, if they can catch Lucian out, any one of those being shoved into the team with Gragas and then locked down could really turn a fight in their favor and let them start walking this back.
Yeah, well, I just have to see how blue team plays it, because again, they do have great CC and initiation, but so far they're just playing a little bit scared because they know how far ahead Red Team is.
Yeah, and I think sometimes there's some caution that can be taken, and I agree that that this is one of those times when maybe it can be happen, but they are going to have to find a time to go in sooner or later. And this
Annie does have her stun up and her flash, so she's really fishing right now.
Yeah,
that flash Tibber stun is devastating.
Absolutely. I'm not seeing the cooldown reduction I want. I want that 40% reduction Tibbers. And here we go. Annie finding Kha'Zix. And is he barely going to live? He's trying to get up on her. They're doing good amounts of damage. It's not going to be enough, and she is flashing out, but we've got a lot of people chasing her down. They want that little girl. Are they going to get her? No. Just a bare push out. Going to keep her alive. And oh, everyone is eating a coal of the week there. A straight line. Right for Lucian, just delivered into his hands. Very unfortunate. That was really great map awareness from Red Team. Annie kind of leading off that play, just barely making it away with LeBlanc on the follow-up, and then Lucian to finish.
Yeah, it was just great follow-up and response by Red Team, but I have to mention that Blue Team chased a little bit too long. After Tristana ulted Annie and she survived, they should have backed up, because they had to have known that Red Team was somewhere nearby and would have responded to that.
Yeah, and I think that's maybe kind of the warning thing. I think maybe they just weren't hugely aware of where they were, and we can see Red Team has overwhelming amounts of vision. 2 pink wards down in the field at the same time. They've got the entire area that they chose to make that fight known. They have entire vision set up on it. They really kind of set up their playing area and made sure it was to their advantage before committing.
Yeah, so good warding and good war control by Red Team to set up that play.
Yeah, just remember, wards win games. I'll say it again and again, and you'll hear it very often. Wards will pay for themselves, and they will win you games.
Vision is a valuable resource in League of Legends. There's only so much you can get of it.
Yeah. And here we go, up in the top lane. It's the Spirit Visage Frozen Heart versus the Sunfire.
Kha'Zix going down to LeBlanc in mid, and she takes a huge amount of damage. Kha'Zix following up, forces the LeBlanc flash, and actually, if Kha'Zix isn't careful, LeBlanc can turn around and burst him.
Yeah,
and he does back off.
That was good damage. She's going to have to back up, and now that she's backed up, they could kind of force a swing here. It looks like maybe they are going down into the bottom lane, and are they going to be able to catch Red Team, or is Red Team going to catch them? Here's Annie. Annie sees him. Is she going to make a move on him? Yes, there's the Tibbers being dropped. He's trying to tank through it. No, he's not able to get away. That Tibbers been able to drop down damage even while he's stealth thanks to the AoE ability. Very vicious indeed.
Again, that was just a result of good ward coverage by Red Team. And not to mention that Annie has finished her DFG now, so she's just as strong as LeBlanc right now.
Yeah. One thing that I think, I know Kha'Zix gets those boots of mobility to make sure that he can kind of get around the map, do the things that he needs to do, but I think now that we're kind of transitioning into a different game, especially since there are 2 very powerhouse mages on the enemy team, I think maybe he should consider maybe swapping over to some Merc Treads or getting a Hex Drinker, something to give him a little bit of staying power against those 2.
Yeah, they'll help against the CC that Annie keeps focusing on the Kha'Zix, because Annie does not want Kha'Zix, from what I've seen so far, to be able to do anything. And LeBlanc going down on Leona forces the Leona flash. Good aggression by LeBlanc.
Oh, and he's really set to call the week there, and that's a lot of damage going down. He must have some crazy amounts. Yes, a Trinity Force, a Last Whisper, and a Bloodthirster. That's some large damage. What I really enjoyed was while that was going on, Nasus and Olaf were standing next to each other dancing up in the top lane.
Always good to see friendly competition and just
absolutely
spirit of dancing between players.
And is there any other kind of competition here on this field today?
Not that I can tell.
And that's the best thing here. Everyone is truly a winner, except possibly Olaf, who's being chased down by everyone under the sun here. Got Lucian, got Jarvan. He's going to pop his ult. He's going to run away, and here we go. We've got 2 strong people going up behind him, and yes, we are going to see 2 great amounts of burst going down, and that's going to take down Leona and Gragas, leaving 4 people knocking down on the mid. They are dead set on getting that inhibitor, leaving Nasus up in the top lane, who, as of now, another down going. Kha'Zix getting hit, and Jarvan is going on to Tristana as well. Olaf being taken out, surrounded by people, and is she going to go down? She's running, she's looking to get away, but no, there is no escaping from that. And they are going to get an inhib for this. They might even try and push in, maybe even end it, because only Leona and Gragas are up at the moment.
Just good team fight, just one after the other from Red Team. And it looks like the game is over, probably forced to surrender, and there it goes. SeaLG taking the win over New Meta.
And there is some dancing going on from that Nasus. Look at him kicking his feet up and down.
He is so happy about that win.
You know, besides fighting against Olaf, you know, he had to have had kind of a frustrating early game. He probably got to relax and kind of shrug his shoulders for about 15 to 20 minutes in that game.
Some of my favorite games are just the games where I just get to farm in a lane and I get left alone.
Yep, I had a Vagar game once, walked straight up through mid, got to spend 50 minutes. Didn't go to any other lane, just went back to mid, got some minions, got a tower every now and again. Really, really relaxing, very therapeutic.
Yeah, those are some of the best games.
Yeah. Getting back to this game, though, looked like kind of what we thought. Purple team taking that really early advantage. They had a lot of trouble in the Nasus lane, but they rounded it out with a lot of very aggressive play going on from Lucian and Annie, and very aggressive play going on from LeBlanc. They used that. They levered their advantage. They got a dragon. They got some towers. They started trying to walk away with a gold lead, which let them snowball even farther. Really just absolutely good textbook play from an early game team.
Yeah, it's just as soon as they grabbed that early game advantage with the 2 kills on LeBlanc and a slew of kills on Lucian in the bot lane, they just took that advantage and just turned up the heat.
Yeah, meanwhile, blue team trying to do everything they could. We saw Gragas, occasionally he was doing a bit of shoving into the tower. We saw Olaf really laying the smackdown on Nasus, doing a lot of damage, a lot of aggressive play, forcing a lot of purple team up into that top lane to try and deal with him. That's exactly what you want, especially when you have mismatches, to try and force them to spawn elsewhere. But we just didn't quite manage to see the positioning to allow them to capitalize on that, so they couldn't really come back.
Yeah, it was unfortunate because they didn't have good... Blue team did not have good ward coverage in that game, just due to excellent de-warding from the trinkets of red team. And so they really couldn't capitalize on the situations where Olaf was split pushing.
Yeah, you know, it's really surprising. We only saw one scanner from Jarvan, but it seemed like every time he was scanning, he was hitting a ward, and that was really, really great to have him keep up on that. Make sure to take that vision, set up the field how they wanted it. All in all, really great teamwork.